What is a scatter plot? Our answer is a graph that shows a possible relationship between two sets of data. So here we have our x and our y-axis, and maybe there's a relationship between, I don't know, temperature and the amount of water we drink. Water, you can say water consumed. So we might see a scatter plot as points just scattered and a whole bunch of data scattered and not connected. Okay, this would be a scatter plot. Okay, and we're looking to see if there is a possible relationship between the two sets of data. What is correlation? It describes the type of relationship presented or represented by a scatter plot. So, is there a relationship between the temperature and water consumed in our first example up here? Probably, because as the temperature goes up, I would say our water consumed might increase because we're hotter and thirstier because of it. All right, so there is probably a correlation between temperature and water consumed. There are a few types of correlation. There's a positive correlation. So you might see positive correlation would look like this, where we have data points going up from left to right. A weak correlation, this should be a negative correlation. A negative correlation might look like this, where it's going down from left to right. And no correlation would look like this. There's points just everywhere. And there's no trend. Okay, another word for correlation might be trend. So let's put this here. Trend. Okay. This weak correlation that we had right here. So sometimes you might see there's a positive or a strong positive correlation or a weak positive correlation or a strong negative correlation or a weak negative correlation. The weak and strong correlation means that the closer the points are, the data points are, the stronger it is. If the data points are more spread out, then it would be considered a weak correlation. We still might have a positive correlation or a negative correlation, but it could be stronger or weaker depending on how far apart those data points are. Outlier. Values much greater or much less than the others in a data set are considered outliers. They lay outside the cluster of correlations. So let's say I have this positive correlation. It looks like this, okay? And then I have this point out here. This point out here would be an outlier. Notice it doesn't follow the trend of the rest of the data, okay? So that's what we would consider an outlier. What is a line of best fit? A line of best fit is a line through a scatter plot of data points that best describes the relationship between those points. The equation of a line of best fit is usually written in slope-intercept form. And we all know slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. What is interpolation? Interpolation is using data to predict inside the data set. What is extrapolation is using data to predict outside the data set. So I would say meteorologists probably use a lot of interpolation and extrapolation to predict weather. They were using extrapolation when they were predicting the outcome of the election. So if you may have heard a lot of those words when you were looking at or watching the coverage of the election, if you were. All right, on the back side, it says, study the graph, tell whether the line shown is a reasonable model for the data points. Explain your answer. So I want to go back up here to our line of best fit. Our line of best fit is going to go through, let me fix this, sorry. Is going to go through 2 points. So you want it to go through 2 points when you're drawing in your line of best fit. You also want it to touch the y-axis. Oops, the y. I knew I was going to run out of space. The y-axis. Sorry, this is a mess. So again, you want it to go through 2 points, and you want it to touch the y-axis when you're creating your line of best fit. That way, you can write your answer or write your equation of your line of best fit using your slope and your y-intercept, okay? You also want your line of best fit to follow the trend of your points. So if we look at this backside, it says, study the graph, tell whether the line shown is a reasonable model for the data points. Explain your answer. So for number 1, I would say yes, this is reasonable. And the reason why is because it goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data points. It goes through 6 data points. And if you notice, there's 1, 2, 3 above the line, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 below the line. So our line of best fit here goes through the middle of our data points and touches several of the data points. Looking at example 2, I would say no. First of all, our data is not linear, right? So our line of best fit is going to be difficult to draw in, considering the line or the data, the trend is not linear, okay? So this doesn't really fit. Looking at number 3, I would say no, that this is not a very good line of best fit, because notice it's only going through one of our data points, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 data points below our line of best fit and none above it. So this line should, I would say, maybe go this way. Okay, so it should be a little flatter. Number 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 below it, 1, 2, 3, 4 above it, and it goes through 2 points. So I would say yes, this is a pretty good line of best fit. I would like for you to try number 5 and number 6. So go ahead and pause the video and try number 5 and number 6 and see what you come up with. All right, looking at number 5, it looks like a very good line of best fit. It goes through 3 points. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom, 1, 2, 3 above it. So it's pretty close to in the middle of our data points. So this is a pretty good line of best fit. Again, the line of best fit is an estimation. You might want to add this to your notes. The line of best fit is an estimation. So, will our equations be the same? Maybe. Are they going to be close to each other? Probably, or they should be, but they might not be exactly the same. Number 6, it doesn't look like this is a trend, like you don't see a positive or negative trend really here, but our line of best fit would probably be better going over here in the middle than where it is. So I would say no, this is not a very good spot for our line of best fit. All right, remember to go ahead and write down some questions that you may have over our scatter plots and line of best fit. We are going to be creating our own scatter plots and putting in our line of best fit and trying to find our equations when we start to practice this. Okay, so again, make sure that you write a summary and a question or two about scatter plots and line of best fit.